And yeah, today we're going to talk about Imperial Topaz, a king's gem, like what Huiying is that, and why is it called the Imperial Topaz? We're going to find out soon enough. All right. So for I noticed there's maybe most of you know me, but I noticed there's some new participants today. So let me introduce myself again. My name is Andrew. I'm the curator of the Gem Museum. I'm a GIA graduate as a graduate gemologist. So, well, working for the Gem Museum is a pretty interesting uh, career. I mean, this is my first job, to be honest, as a gemologist. And really, Kunming and Huiying really propelled me into the gem industry because you really can know so much things apart from what you have learned in school. You get to learn about the minerals, the entire journey of a gem, basically. Um, and then not just that, there's some many things that like so-called secrets that are in the trade, and then being exposed to them by Kunming and Huiying, their experience is just it's just so precious, you know. So it's really amazing experience working for the Gem Museum. And anyways, let's get back to the top webinar, right? So topaz, okay, is not okay. Topaz is a stone that is um, fairly unheard of. You don't really see people selling topaz in the market apart from the big four and maybe some of the stones, maybe some other popular stones like tourmalines and maybe uh, spinels and other barrels, right? Topaz, they can be quite common, yet can be also quite rare. Depends on what kind of variety they are. And for the more common ones, they are sometimes used as diamond stimulants, which is the colorless topaz. And because of some of them, they are so common, they are treated into some of the stones that is widely seen in the market. All right. Um, we're going to go through some of the basics. As usual, we're going to talk about some of the properties of topaz. We're going to talk about history, which is one of my favorite section. And we're going to have some discussion in the end, like what makes it precious and whatnot, right? So let's begin for the introduction of this topaz, right? Topaz is a fluorosilicate mineral, okay, which contain aluminium, which we can see the chemical formula for the topaz is this this long formula right here, right? And it's quite a unique gem in the sense of it contains fluorine. Okay, when it comes to fluorine, there's not many gems that contains this elements. The one that stands out is fluorite. Okay, so fluorite is based in fluorine, whereas topaz is just one of the yeah base chemical. And another one, another gem that comes to my mind is apatite. Right, apatite also contains fluorine. So there's only less than a handful of gems that contains fluorine. Any other gems there is made up of any other elements apart from fluorine. Okay, so it's pretty unusual, right? And topaz, okay, it crystallizes in the orthorhombic crystal systems, right? So if for those who are not familiar with the crystal systems, okay, there are for the crystal single crystals, they can form in 7 different kinds of crystal systems, and orthorhombic is one of them. Okay, when they form in very well formed crystals, okay, they can be um, quite recognizable, I would say, because as you can see in this picture right here is a prismatic crystal and sometimes would have vertical striation along the sides of the crystal. So it is fairly um, distinguishable, okay, when it comes to the mineral of topaz, okay, and right, and it comes in all different kinds of colors, okay. So apart from the colors, topaz is known for a few reasons. All right. Uh, First of all, they have one of the most desired gemstone color. Okay, and what is that color? So you might ask. So the color only can be found in the precious slash imperial topaz, which can range from yellow, orange, pink, and red. But what it didn't mention here was, I mean, is um, the reddish orange color. So I'm sure most of you heard of the paparasha sapphires, right? It's one of the rarest variety of sapphires, and topaz has that kind of color as well, which is the mixture of uh, either pink, red, and orange. So it's but in a more vivid sense compared to the paparasha. So it is truly an amazing color, and yeah, it's not many stones would have such a good combination of these two colors. And apart from these yellow, orange, and pink, it also comes in the blue color, which is also an amazing color. And believe it or not, blue color is the rarest color in the gem world. Okay, there's not many gems that um, comes in blue. Sapphire is one of the gems that comes to your mind. Aquamarine and yeah, some of the opaque gems, there is turquoise, lapis, and topaz that comes in natural or treated blue. Okay, so the second why topaz is so is well known for is that it has a good hardness. Okay, is ranked at number 8 in the most hardness scale, and also, another fun fact: being at 8 of the in the most hardness scale, topaz is the hardest of the silicates. Okay, and silicates are those. Okay, silicates composed of the majority of the minerals on Earth. Okay, but topaz is the hardest of them all. And what else is harder than topaz? Crystal beryl, corundums, and diamonds. Only these 3 gems is harder than topaz. So it's a pretty good gems to use in daily lives, for daily activity as well. And last but not least, topaz is also known for its excellent clarity. It generally is a type 1 gemstone, depending on what kind of color it is. All right. Um, type 1 gemstone refers to gems that does not have a lot of inclusions like fractures, crystals, and any other inclusions that might affect its value, its clarity, right? Some of the um, color of the topaz dish, which is type 1, it are like the colorless ones, the blue topaz, uh, pink. Pink is, I would say, in the middle. Okay, it can be included sometimes, but the rest of the colors are typically type 2, which can have some form of inclusion, visible inclusions, right? Like the Imperial Topaz is one of the type 2 gems. Uh, okay. But although they are hard, the only weakness of the topaz is it has a perfect basal cleavage. Okay. So cleavages are some kind of a weakness, a weak point within the crystals themselves. When it when you hit it in the wrong spot, it would just break perfectly. So that's why it has a perfect basal cleavage. All right. So next is the crystal size. Okay, crystal size for the topaz can be enormous. Okay, it can be huge, but I would say most of the large topaz crystals, okay, they comes in either colorless or even brown in color. Okay, the color is not attractive, but it's just the size, it's just kind of unseen before in the gemstone world. Okay, um, I mean the largest I've seen, um, maybe the largest crystal I've seen compared to these two that is in the picture right here. Maybe it's the quartz crystals. Okay, other than that, topaz is kind of I was surprised to see such a big topaz crystals that exist. You know, so having huge crystal size, okay, they are allowed to be cut into faceted gems. Okay, with that being said, Topaz also holds the record for the largest and the third largest faceted gemstones in the world. Okay, before we see the picture of these two faceted gems, okay, let's take a look at this picture as a reference, right? So these two huge topaz and this little kid right here as a scale for to see the size of the two crystals is wow, it's just really huge. I mean, the left crystal it weighs almost 32 kilos. I mean, almost the weight of a little kid, right? And wow, and the crystal on the right is it's more than 50 kilos. I would say it weighs even more when I came back from when I came back from UK, right? And yeah, I was pretty thin when I came back from UK. I kind of I didn't eat a lot. The food there is just it doesn't fulfill my Asian appetite. You see, that's why I lost a lot of weight back then. All right, so let's look at the largest and the third largest faceted gemstone. All right. Okay, here they are. Okay, let's talk about the left photo first. Okay, so the left one is the largest faceted gemstone in the world. Okay, what you're seeing here is called the El Dorado Topaz, and it weighs a whopping 31,000 carats. Okay, it's exactly 31,000 carats. And if it translates into kilograms, it's 6.2 kilos. Okay, the hand there is also a scale to see how huge the gemstone is. And although it's a huge faceted gem, okay, the recorded size of its original crystal was actually 37 kilograms. Okay, it's almost the same size. Maybe it's almost the same size as the crystal on the left, and then it's being cut into a 6.2 kilograms gemstone. So you can see, um, in order to achieve such good cut and to display its original color of the brown hue of the topaz, it has to lose a lot of weight. It's almost like a 80% of the weight loss incurred into cutting this gem, right? Nevertheless, there's still an amazing gem to see, to look at. Whereas the picture on the left, okay, is the American golden topaz, which is the third largest faceted gemstone in the world. Okay, it weighs at 4.5 kilograms and is now in the Smithsonian Institute in Washington, D.C. Okay, you can see the color is yeah, it's not very attractive. It's brown. You can say it's okay. I sometimes like brown in color, like champagne cognac color, but the ones on the right is just quite transparenty. It's maybe a very pale yellow color, right? So these two are some of the largest faceted gemstone in the world, right? So let's come to my favorite subject, history. I never liked history back in my secondary school. I hated history, but when it comes to gems, it's just whenever you source for information, is the every single story behind the gem, it kind of open up your eyes. It kind of blows your mind sometimes. Well, anyways, okay. Um, Topaz initially was named after an island, okay, called Topazios. Okay, Topazios is still an island right now, located in off the coast of Egypt. Okay, I remember I used this slide and this picture before when I did my peridot webinar. Is because this place was famous for their peridots, and in fact, it was named Topaz back in the days. So this island, in fact, never produces topaz before, only peridot. So that's why when people name them, okay, it might sound a little bit confusing. When they name peridot as topaz, people think peridot is topaz. Okay, but then people start to clarify things, but the name of topaz still continue to be misused back in the days. Okay, until okay, not yet until. So let me, so why do they continue to use topaz? Because topaz kinds of is a synonym for yellow gemstones. Okay, and many gems, for example, yellow and orange sapphires, or even citrines from treated amethyst were called topaz under different trade names. For example, oriental topaz, king topaz for sapphires, and even golden topaz and citrine topaz. These two, especially golden and the citrine topaz, is being used a lot, okay, in the 17, 17, 18, sorry, 1970s and the 80s, right? It's been used a lot in the places that produces a lot of topaz, okay? Because the color, it looks exactly like citrine, okay? Especially though for those citrine that is treated from amethyst, the heat treated amethyst. It has a very equal color all around the stone. It's golden, golden yellow color. That's why they were called the golden topaz. Okay, and yeah, just a quick game. I have three photos here. All right. Maybe you can guess which one is the topaz. All right. There are many yellow gems around, and these are some of the yellow gems that is, I would say, quite common in the market. Okay, yeah. So you can guess left, middle, right. Just put in the chat. Maybe we can look at the answers later. I'm not gonna tell you the answers now. Okay, I'm just gonna let you just have a fun guess. You know. Okay. So all right. When it comes to precious topaz, okay, these are the ones that is uh, better looking, I would say, better looking than the common ones, and they are more desirable in the market. Okay, so that's why when people say topaz, they'll always, I mean, they were always confused with citrines and the yellow sapphires back in the days. So there's a lot of confusion between the terms that is used in the market. So does what did Brazil do back then? Because Brazil is the main producer of topaz, right? So what the people there did, okay, is to come up with a term, okay, come up with a term to distinguish the precious topaz from the golden or the citrine topaz in the market. They called the precious topaz as imperial topaz, okay, in the honor of the Emperor Dom Pedro. Okay, this man right here, very nice beard, okay, and yeah, that's one of the reasons why they call why they is a king's gem, okay, because it's named after the Emperor of Brazil. And I would, after they termed it imperial topaz, the people there start to have a clearer idea, right? Okay, what is actually topaz and what is actually citrine. So actually the move did paid off, I would say. The move did paid off because they still, until right now, they still produce a lot of fine topaz. Imperial topaz that is very collectible. Um, like I said, for those imperial topaz, they might be included um, with cleavages or fractures that might not be suitable to be cut. They are still very collectible as a mineral and it's very high in demand, right? So next, okay, next, the imperial gem, okay, is also coined back in the 19th century by the Russians. Okay, so there's two separate countries that term imperial topaz on separate occasions. Okay, so what happens in Russia was a the Ural Mountains, the famous Ural Mountains that produce a lot of fine gems, were also a main source for pink topaz. Okay, pink topaz is, I would say, one of the rarest color for topaz, and it's really beautiful. Some might even compare pink topaz to pink diamonds. Okay, Can you believe that? Is pink diamond is one of the rarest gems on earth, and they kind of compared it with the pink diamond. That says the beauty and the color for the pink topaz is up there. It's up there. So what happens with the czars, the royal families of the imperial Russia? Okay, they were fascinated by the color itself. They kind of forbids the public, the people, to own or even wear this colored topaz. So that means they reserve all of the rights to have a pink topaz for their own. Okay, and yeah, so Ural Mountains, pink pink topaz, yes. Although now Ural Mountains, they have a very limited source for the pink topaz, but it's there are still other ways to I would say make pink topaz. It's not synthetic, but it's just treated pink topaz. But nevertheless, rare natural ones are really, really rare and beautiful, right? So these two are the source for the trade name Imperial Topaz, okay? And both linked to the royal family, the kings of respective countries. That's why they call it the king's gem, okay? So until now, some of the sources they still mine for topaz in a large quantity. Brazil, in the state of Minas Gerais, is one of the example. They have been mining for centuries, and they produce a lot of gems. Not just topaz, beryls, aquamarines, tourmalines, amethyst. They've been produced in large quantities, and some of the finest color that comes from Brazil are the yellow orange, the pure orange color, and even the cherry red, okay, which is almost close to red, but a slight tint of orange in it, okay, which is still really, really amazing, okay, and pretty rare as well. So another source that uh, some of the precious topaz that comes from is the Pakistan. Okay, Pakistan is a notable source for pink, red, and even violet topaz. Okay, I personally never seen a violet topaz before, but it is on record that there's a violet topaz. Okay, although in very small quantity, right? And these two pictures right here is a fine example of topaz, imperial topaz, or precious topaz, whatever you want to call it, okay, that comes from Pakistan, the region of Katlang, okay. Uh, yeah, it's just some of the fine specimens, it just draws your soul into it. You can just so aesthetic, that's the word. Yes, you can just look at it for yeah, for the whole webinar. No, okay, I'm kidding. That's okay. So now we're going to talk about precious or imperial. Okay, these two terms might be a little bit confusing at first, um, but when we discuss it, is well, it still depends on how you want to use it. Okay, but before we head to differentiating the two, let me ask, what do you think blue topaz is is a precious topaz? Do you think, even okay, regardless whether it's natural or treated blue topaz, do you think they are precious? Okay. Um, well, let me jump to the gun. Okay, natural blue topaz. Okay, in fact, they are very, very rare, and usually when they are discovered in the natural state, they have a very pale blue tone, just like you see in this picture right here. Okay, it's very, very pale. Um, some people might miss the blue tint, and it's just, why do the market has so many blue topaz, so much supply of blue topaz? Is one of the reason is that most of the blue topaz in the market is being treated with heat. Sorry, is irradiated and heat treated into the vivid blue color topaz. okay, from a colorless topaz. So that's why when you happen to stumble upon like a blue topaz in the market, their value is rather low. Okay, it's not a price that you think that that is a color that's super rare. Okay, it's in fact they are very inexpensive. Okay, because they originate from a colorless topaz, and colorless topaz is they can be quite abundant. Okay, and some of the blues shades that you can see in the market, they are given some terms such as sky blue, which is the light blue color, for example, like maybe aquamarine, aquamarine blue, sky blue, Swiss blue, which has a medium tone, and even the London blue, which is the darker shade of blue. Yeah, Kumi told me he has some of the collections of blue topaz. Yeah, so he can later can show you the range, the shades of the blue topaz later on. Okay, so what do you think? Okay, is well, I'm not gonna judge this because precious topaz is meant for other colors, but it's totally depend on you. Is there's no fixed rules on like, hey, I want to call it blue topaz as precious topaz or whatever, you know. Well, when it comes to precious and imperial topaz, what defines these two? Okay, um, prior to the 19th century, where all the topaz, colored topaz, were labeled as precious topaz, um, it carries a broad color range. It says this right here. All colored topaz are labeled precious topaz. Okay, it can be yellow, brown, red, pink, violet. Any color is topaz. So it's not this. It's not clear. It's not concise. Okay, so once the imperial term is coined by the Russian and the Brazil for the pink and the orange sherry color, respectively, it kinds of became a generic term for topaz for a certain range for the rich and the saturated color for topaz. Okay, so right now the imperial topaz is reserved. The term imperial topaz, okay, is reserved for the color ranges from cherry red, deep pink, reddish orange. Okay, and it must be vivid coloration. Okay, um, I would say like this crystal right here, this crystal that we have is pretty deep orange. So this would be considered as an imperial topaz. Okay, and for the precious, on the other hand, it refers to the less intense. The keyword is less intense, pinkish orange and golden yellow. Okay, so they when it comes to color judging, it always has been a very subjective matter in the gemstone grading, right? Some people will see color differently, some people would judge color differently. So still is a very subjective matter, okay, when it comes to saying what's impure and what's precious. Okay, but nevertheless, less intense would belong to the precious topaz. As for the stones that becomes a pale yellow or brown tone in the topaz, they would become just topaz. Okay, just topaz. They can be common. They are not expensive and not very desirable as well. Okay. All right. So having said all of these color, okay, re- the terms can also be used on treated topaz as well. Okay, so as long as it's only heat treated. Okay, and I actually read a book that talks about heat treatments on gemstones. Okay, it has a saying: heat treatments. Heat treatment is um, the work of to finish what the nature left unfinished. Okay, so this is the term that I kind of uh, input into my brain, like fixed it in my brain. So heat treatment sometimes they can be acceptable in a trade. they are not considered as a like a, how do I say, they are still acceptable. I would say some of the gems that are so prone to heat treatment, they just ignore it. You don't have to disclose, but it has to be heat treated to attain the desired color. Okay, so enough for the heat treatments. So this is all I'm going to talk about the precious and imperial topaz. I hope you have like a clear explanation in this website, sorry, this webinar, so for you to have a clearer picture on the imperial topaz, right? So I'm gonna pass it back to Kunming and Huiying for the live demonstration, and thank you all for listening. Yeah, I kind of noticed I'm a little bit rusty at the moment. I need more practice. Okay, over back.
Don't worry.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah, so if you feel that Andrew did a good job, feel free to put your thumbs up and
give me a like, give me a love.
Right? Like and love or something.
Send some love
from
the community.
Okay, thank you, Andrew. Thank you very much for a wonderful presentation. Wow, I saw some pictures. It's really, really nice. We have had encounters with some of those really beautiful rough material, as well as the the polished ones as well.
Wow, so somebody sending some love on Facebook.
Yeah, thank you so much. All right, now we are
one more like coming.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, because your name is Dad's iPhone, so I'm just going to call you Dad's iPhone. Thank you. And I see that Ida has another question. So, well, we have a Q&A right now, and we do have some questions already coming in along the way. And the first question was found in the Facebook from Lynn. The question was, how do we know if a topaz is natural and not chemically heat enhanced? So Andrew, I hear that you mentioned it just now about enhancement. Most of the time it is color enhancement, right? Color improvement or appearance, make it look better in terms of the color. So how do we know that it is treated or not treated? Andrew, Kunming, before I give my input.
Well, one thing is known that topaz normally they have been radiated, and then after that they anneal it to actually improve the color, a lot of it, and it's actually what they call it is actually accepted in the trade. Of course, disclosure is important. In terms of looking out how to differentiate, a lot of times radiation treatment is very difficult to actually detect. But at the end of the radiation treatment, normally they will heat it, and this heating you can observe some kind of changes in the inclusions. Like in rubies and sapphires, you see the fingerprints getting melted, you see certain cleavages growing bigger, things like that. You can actually tell about the heating. But regards to radiation, that is something that is almost difficult to detect.
Right, I do agree. A more layman way to look at it. Actually, first of all, of course, we also go by experience, and many times when the item comes into the laboratory, for example, we base on our visual observation. And later you will see one of the pink topaz that Kunming is going to show. And I will pull out do I have the picture? Maybe Andrew can pull out the pink topaz. Just now there was one picture, and we will notice that the color vibrancy can be quite different. Okay, sometimes the one that is treated, right, irradiated, sometimes the vibrancy is very strong, like really, really deep and saturated. Sometimes it's a little bit duller than the natural one. The natural one tends to look more lively. Okay, so this is a very layman way, it's not quite scientific way of saying whether it is treated or not treated. We don't do that in the lab, but it's an idea, especially when we are outside in the market or something like that. When we look at the gems, we have an idea already, like this one maybe not. But having said that, like what Kunming mentioned, right, is in the market is generally accepted. 90-95% they are all pretty much irradiated plus annealed. Okay, annealed is just to really stabilize the irradiation process so that the color stays and is permanent. And because the color is permanent, right, the treatment is pretty much accepted in that manner, in that for that matter. Yeah, then of course, when it is treated in some way or another, we are also thinking about, oh, the price will be a little bit different also. So that is the tricky part where we got to be really, really careful. Yeah.
I think Andrew, do you have anything to say?
No, it's everything has been said.
Okay, so in terms of color, because I remember we had one piece that is natural.
Blue
No,
which one?
the orange one from Arizona. We bought it from the
Long time
United
ago,
States.
is it that one?
We still have it as a sample.
Yes.
And then the color apparently is not stable.
The natural one.
Yeah,
the natural one.
So if you actually show it under sunlight or strong light, it will fade over time.
It can fade over time. The blue one, the blue ones, natural blue ones, as well as the sherry ones.
So in a sense, the treatment actually makes it more stable.
Yes,
yeah.
Correct. So there is good and bad, so we have to really see, depend on the situation. Yeah, I hope that answers your question, Lynn.
Lynn and also Ida, because she asked about heat treatment.
Color fade in time. Oh yeah, that's right. So I actually answered Ida's question as well at the same time. So the next question is also from Ida, I think.
Yeah.
Explain what basal cleavage is. Okay, I leave it to Andrew. You try and explain first.
Well, okay. Basal cleavage is the weakest part where the atomic structure, where the atomic bonds. Yeah. So the basal cleavage. Okay, cleavage is the weakest part of the bonds, and the basal is refers to the location of the cleavage. Where is the location of the cleavage? So for example, the crystal, it grows like upwards, right? Okay, so the cleavage will be based on the basal. That means it's here. So it will goes along the length of the crystal, the topaz crystal. So this is all where the cleavage is located. Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, that's right. So let me just show all of you a picture. Oops, sorry. Oh dear, how do I do this? Clear. Oops.
Yeah, clear.
Wait, hang on. Okay.
Mouse, yeah.
All right. Let me clear this one as well. So you can see in this picture there are some topazes, and this is what Andrew meant, that the topaz actually grow upwards. Okay, we call it prismatic. No, yes, it's a prismatic habit. So it grows upwards. I happen to have this. My son's Pringles. See, collecting his Pringles bottle for some reason. So it grows upwards. Whenever we see a rough material that is longish, it actually is a prismatic habit. We call it prismatic habit. Okay, and then if you can see in this picture, right at the bottom here, this is the base. That's why it's called a basal cleavage. And cleavage means that there is weakness, like what Andrew mentioned, and the basal cleavage is the direction of weakness. If I knock in this direction, the whole piece will break off in this manner. Okay, so that's what it meant by basal cleavage. So for this particular rough material, if we were to look into the material itself with a 10 times loop or even with a microscope, right, you will actually see internal cleavages. That means internal weaknesses. There will be lines like breakage, like very straight and flat breakages in the material itself. So that's what breakage is. So yeah, you want to add in anything?
No,
yeah, so
fantastic.
I hope that that answers your question. Okay, and then the last question was from
iPhone. That's iPhone 4.
Sorry, we're not sure who you are, but yeah, we recognize that you must be a dad. When did the mineral topaz crystal become a precious gem? Right, interesting question. Andrew, would you like to answer that?
I don't quite understand the question.
When did it become a precious gem?
When did in history did it record that people actually value this topaz crystal? Is that what you're asking? That's iPhone 4?
Okay, if it's asked that way, okay,
yes.
So it's been used since the discovery of the peridot times, and the ancient Egyptians which is around like 5,000 years ago. So they used to thought peridot is a topaz. So that's the first record for the topaz. And then so it's been confused here and there, and then they always thought that topaz is a precious gem. So when they first, until they've discovered the actual topaz themselves, so it's already been a precious gems, you know. So it's yeah, I would say like 5,000 years ago, back in the ancient Egypts.
Wow, 5,000 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the term precious really came about when there is a form of a comparison with so-called more precious or more valuable, we would say more valuable gems like diamonds, ruby, emerald, sapphire, and all that. So then the term precious came in, and because there was this comparison with the term semi-precious as well. Yes, so how Alexandrite was a mineral but was not used as a precious gem in Russian royal jewels. Yeah, it's not. So the word precious topaz has its own origin.
Maybe Andrew, remember the part where you talk about citrine just now? You can explain that part again. Where, you know, in the olden times, they was confused with citrine. And then even some gem dealers still also refer to citrine as topaz. So in order to make differentiation between the yellow topaz and the yellow citrine, they coined the term precious topaz.
Yeah, that's right. So the word precious is really to differentiate, you know, from other materials. So of course, the culture-wise, it's not just topaz alone. They use many other gem mineral as well. And remember that topaz itself, there are many different colors. So in order to, like what Kunming mentioned, in order to differentiate citrine from topaz itself, they use the word precious topaz instead as a differentiation, So when did it become a precious gem, as in valuable? Okay, it is when more later on, okay, in terms of like the economy, in the sense, if you think of economy, you think about the demand and supply, the rarity and all that, then that is where we look at it as a more precious gem. As compared to white topaz is like, you know, it's white. It's like you can use glass, you know, or quartz. It's much common. So precious topaz, for that matter, is for the yellow ones. Okay, and then of course there's another one that is imperial topaz. So those are the different names and terms that we use. It's like jade also, imperial jade, you know, imperial color. So that is really to describe the quality as well as to differentiate it from like the other qualities. Yeah. Hope that answer your question.
But of course, it's a complex matter because they are basing it more from using the color. You know, so that causes a lot of questions because everyone differentiate color. Later I'll show you. Anyway, let's go on to showcase of some of the stones, and maybe from here we can get an idea.
Yeah. All right, so let's go for the zoom box. Coming.
Okay,
zoom box. Yes.
Wow, straight away connect.
Yes.
Oh, okay, it's there. All right. So first place I will show raw crystal.
Yeah.
So here is a quartz and topaz matrix from Myanmar. And let me just go zoom in. So to all my Myanmar friends, I really hope the situation improves. I really miss all of you, Majan and all of you. So, okay, here is a piece of quartz. Here, this is quartz. And then you can see the topaz here.
Yeah.
One interesting thing is the luster. You can see that the topaz is much more brighter than more reflective than the quartz. So this is something interesting. So this is a nice comparison. Let me go on to another stone from Myanmar. This is a rutilated quartz. That is really beautiful. So one thing about rutilated quartz, rutilated topaz. Sorry.
Rutilated topaz. Beg your pardon.
Yeah. So you can see here.
It's less common than rutilated quartz.
Yeah.
And we find it quite common in Myanmar.
Yeah, you can see that the luster is much more brighter.
It's much brighter, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Much brighter.
And then you can see some rutiles in the stone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's one of those stones that, although it has inclusions, it becomes very interesting for people to procure, to buy.
So we do not have the rutilated quartz with us, but if we were able to make comparison, you actually see that the reflection and the brightness of topaz is much more than quartz, like colorless quartz. So next time if you go to a shop or go to somewhere, you can try and have a look and see whether you can make some comparison and observe it for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, then we know we can appreciate that topaz a little bit better as well.
So now I will show you a clear topaz. It's a clear topaz. Yeah. Yeah, I want to show. So you see, this is a 9.31 carat topaz cut in a diamond cut. Very, very bright luster. Let me just undo it.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good.
See, look at that. It's beautiful. This is like a wow.
So the difference between this and diamond is that the brightness is, I wouldn't say on par, but it's pretty bright.
I have a diamond pendant too.
But then it's not as you
can see the difference.
It's not as the dispersion, the fire is not as much as diamonds. So that's the difference between topaz and diamond. Otherwise, it is also quite brilliant, quite bright, as you can see from here. So I mean, like, how many people can afford a diamond this size,
Well, diamond this size will be like, this is like a 8 carat, 9 carat diamond.
Yeah, and very clear too.
This is very white. Maybe this is like a F color, G color. Maybe 800,000. No?
Yeah. So it would be a pretty good sort of I wouldn't say replacement, but a good alternative. Yeah,
alternative is a great word.
Good alternative.
So, but if you can see clearly the diamonds on the right, you can see the sparkle is different.
Yeah. It's still more. See? It's just a good alternative. Yeah.
Okay. Next. So now we go on to maybe we talk about blue.
Yeah, talk about the blue
ones. Blue. So just now we have a little talk about the blue topaz.
Talking about the blue topaz, while you show that one.
Okay.
Just now, Andrew also showed a picture of a blue rough, like a natural blue. It's light color, a little bit like this color, a little bit like, but much lighter, a bit more faint than this color that I'm showing. More like this color. Okay, more bluish like this color. And we had one piece which was what's the size? The size is like rather big, maybe the size of this cap.
Yes.
Big big size, and someone bought it. I should have kept it.
Yeah, what to do?
We always make the mistake.
No lah, not mistake lah. This is far of collecting lah.
Okay, so
the museum.
The blue topaz here.
So this is a London blue topaz. You can see. Blue. So one of the explanation is London has it's rainy sky, so it's darker, so it's more deeper in color. So this London blue. Wow, it's pretty dark. But in a piece of jewelry, it's really beautiful. It's cut London blue. Then I want to show you Swiss blue. Purposely got a same kind of cut, a round cut, to show off this Swiss blue. So this Swiss blue. So Swiss is like Singapore, a lot of sun. So I guess that's why it's lighter in color. Swiss and London. And then I have
move it up a bit. No, the stone.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, too bright.
Okay, good. Just keep it that way. It's good.
London. Nice. And then I have one that is sky blue. Sky blue. Oops. Sky blue. Almost like aquamarine color. I really like this stone because see, whoa.
Oh, like aquamarine.
Yeah.
And it's very brilliant, very bright.
So one of the specialty about topaz is really very brilliant. I have to turn down my my brightness exposure. You see, very beautiful print step cut. Okay.
It's a beautiful piece and not so expensive, I think. How much is this? Don't know.
I just took it out from the safe and show.
It's always interesting to know the price, I guess.
So this blue topaz, I show you white topaz. Okay, now let's go on to the precious stuff.
Okay, Cynthia has a question. How to tell topaz with rutilated and not normal rutilated quartz? Well, if you have equipment and tool, right, the refractive index is one of the easiest way to detect because quartz refractive index is only 1.54, 1.55, whereas topaz refractive index is about 1.64 to I think if I'm not wrong 1.66, something like that. Yeah, and so with that it's straightforward, it's very easy. But if you do not have the tool, one of the way is really visual observation. However, it's not easy unless you have two of them side by side in comparison. Okay, and of course it takes a trained eye to be able to see that as well. So in other words, it's not so easy to just tell apart just like that. How similar to Paribas? Did you mention Paribas?
No.
Oh, how similar to Paribas? Oh, Paribas is very different. Paribas is
it's a tourmaline.
It's a totally different material. Yeah, it's a tourmaline, and it comes from Brazil or Mozambique, and it's more like a neon, bright greenish blue kind of a color, not this kind of sky blue or gentle blue.
It looks similar, but then if you put it side by side, you can see the difference.
Yeah, actually you can see the difference quite a lot.
Yeah, a lot of gemstones, I mean, in the imagination, it can be the same, but when you put it side by side, it changes. You can see the difference.
You can see difference when it's definitely side by side.
So here's I would say yellow topaz. It's a yellow topaz. Okay, it's pretty light yellow. All right, I put it here.
I mean, although we say it's yellow, it looks a little bit orange, right?
Yeah, it's
but that's just really the trade way of describing it.
But when I put this one, I have another piece here. You can see the difference. It's more intense.
Nice.
And you can see on the tip of here on the side here, you can see the sherry color.
Sherry orange.
Yeah. And one thing about topaz, if I tilt it a bit like that, you can see the bottom left-hand side, this area. This area, you can see a little bit of the sherry color. It's about observing the stone. You see, certain part of the stone has that color. Oh yes, thank you for the pointer. Yeah. So around this area. So topaz, I tell you, you have to be very, very careful when you cut it. I tell you a story. I actually recut a precious topaz I bought from Afghanistan. Wow, I thought I will get better luster. Yes, I got better luster, but I lost the color. I lost the sherry color, and then from from Imperial Topaz become precious topaz. You see here, see this part now. You see the sherry color. Then if you tilt it another way, it's a little bit gone. So this is a border. I would say it's a Imperial Topaz lah.
So the nature of this, what he was describing, like at a certain angle, you can see that color concentration. At a certain angle, you don't, or you see lesser. Is that is what we call pleochroism. So in different directions, we actually see the shades of the color slightly differently. That's the nature of the gem material itself. So you also learn a bit of gemology here. Okay, I think Atika, you remember? Atika, just passed only last week, last lesson. Hope you still remember, double refractive.
Oh, this one very nice.
Okay, next one, nice
big
stone.
One.
You want to like zoom out a little bit?
Yeah, I'm gonna zoom out a little bit. Okay.
I must refer back to notes.
Oh,
This is nice color. I like.
Okay, it doesn't do justice with the light lah.
It's alright. It's alright. It looks very nice on the screen.
Look at the
so if you like this stone, give a thumbs up. You can go to the your participant list and then click your I don't know, emotions.
You can see the color, certain parts of the sherry are all around the stone. If you tilt it at the right place.
Yeah, this is nice color.
This
I like this.
color.
This very well cut. I would say pretty
it's
well
pretty
cut.
well cut.
Yeah, it's pretty well cut.
But when I take out the rest of the stone, then you will see what happened.
Huh?
The color just
No, you go from not so good to better and better and better.
So a lot of times
show you the best one first.
Yeah. slowly.
Later the next few is like nothing really, not interesting anymore.
So next one I'll show you another one. There is more to the Imperial Topaz. Imperial Topaz.
So again, Imperial Topaz is a bit orangey, pinkish.
See this way.
Oh, nice. Cannot see too.
Okay. So it is more to the imperial color. Okay.
Here cannot see clearly. Oh, look at that. Can you see a bit of the orangey, pinkish, reddish, kind of a color saturation.
I don't know why it's not
color hue.
Focus.
Yeah, because there are a lot of stones around there. All right. Okay,
see?
look at it. So you can see at the back here, the stone behind there is a lot more orangey, whereas this one is more would I say like pinkish, brownish, orange. Yeah.
You see the area?
Yeah. Pink, brown, orange.
Look at it.
Yeah, all together in one. So this is the imperial color, which is a very nice color. Of course.
Like that, you can see more pink.
Yeah, more pink, brown.
Yeah. Right.
Yes, that's right. You can see it at a certain angle.
So when you look at gemstones, you take some time to look at it.
Yeah. So
I know many times people try to just look for the face up and then go on. When you look a bit deeper in the stone, you start to see the special beauty of the stone.
Yeah. I mean, we can appreciate it better lah. At the end of the day, how to decide to buy the stone? You look at it face up. How does it look? Does it appeal to you? Does it have that life? Like this particular one is quite lively. You can see when you just tilt a little bit, the light just reflects back internally, and you can see the color saturation. Yeah.
See?
So you can see the difference between these two. So without seeing the small one that he's showing you right now, you will find that the big one is pretty nice already, right?
Yeah.
How does it compare to a Malayan garnet? Again, they are two different type of gem. So it's almost like we cannot compare apple with orange. You can compare Fuji apple with China apple, but you cannot compare China apple with China orange. You know what I mean? So even though they come from the same place, they are two different things. So Malaya garnet is a totally different material, and they commonly, I would say, it comes in a yellowish greenish color. Not so much of orangey. The orangey one will be the hazelnut garnet, which you can find as well. Just that in terms of the nature of the stone itself, it will be quite different. And the Malayan garnet, if you say it's the hazelnut colored ones, you don't actually see that imperial color of that pinkish and that brownish. You see more of the orange, like the one on the left, like this kind. Yeah, you see more of this. And
then it's isotropic. So you don't really see the pure charism so much.
Yeah, you don't see that the different angle, different color. So sometimes these stones are fun because there is this interaction.
Now next level. Next level coming up. Next level.
Yeah, color looks similar. Okay, that's right. I agree.
Look at this.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So if you like this stone, give 2 thumbs up.
See the color, more sherry. Okay, it looks.
I like this one.
From the first look, you will see like a bit grayish because that is the glare. If I have like a polarizer, it would be great. But anyway, see the pink.
Now you can see the pink and brown. Less brown, more pink and orange. Yeah.
Yeah.
The other one has a little bit more brown. Wow, nice. This is nice. This is like candy color.
Yeah.
This tastes like
see
candy.
the pink there. My pointer, my makeshift pointer. Where you see this area.
Yeah, you see that color there.
I mean, the cutting is, I mean, it's not fantastic in terms of, you can see like some abrasion marks and all this thing, but then, you know,
the angle of the cut is quite good actually.
Yeah.
You can see the color. So as long as it's not like darkish, you know, like too much patches of dark, which
yeah.
means there is a light leakage. You can actually see good reflection and also the color concentration, the color concentration of the material.
So
when you put together, you can see the differences.
Okay, now I will do a commercial break. I'll show you a orange brown. Okay, this is in terms of color, this is like champagne actually, but because it's quite light, so you can dispute whether it's orange or what. Okay, so this is, it's like orange but borderline brown. So I think people will call this just topaz.
It's a very difficult stone, you know, it's quite difficult. It's almost like, how do you...
So the beauty of this stone is the cut. You can look at the cut. So nice, see the star. Nice. Yeah, this stone was cut in Israel. And look at that, actually there's one black.
I think the beauty of it is also the topaz itself is bright.
Yeah,
I like bright. I like it that it is bright, you know, it just reflects light very well. But in terms of the color, this is a bit too flushed out.
Yeah, very flush. Okay, I put with the other fellow brothers. You can see the color looks flush.
Maybe a pendant with all these 4 pieces would be fantastic.
See? Okay, now
you make it into a pendant and then you go out, you can start making comparison, right?
Yeah,
No. This one is not. This color is like that.
So I saved one of the best for last. Look at this.
Oh, you haven't showed the other one. You show the other one first.
I showed that one. Okay, so I show this is a pink topaz.
So on the other extreme spectrum, okay, on the other extreme spectrum, that's
look at that.
This almost looks like purple already.
Yeah. So just now, Andrew, you say violet, almost like violet.
Yeah, almost like violet, like a what's that called? Lilac color.
This is from Brazil. It's one of this belonged to one of our friends, and he lent it to us to show for this webinar. Yeah,
and you know what you can do is that when the webinar finish, right, and when we put it up on the YouTube itself, you can try and go and review and do slide, the slide with that pink topaz picture, okay, the one with the rough pink topaz, and then take a screenshot, and then take a screenshot of this one, and you compare the color. Okay, I know that there will be differences like screen light, and then maybe photos, like some Photoshop and all that, but it is still valuable. You just have a look at it and you can see that there are actually some differences, which is what we were mentioning just now. We do not know if this has been treated or not, all right? But it seems like there is some, it may have been treated in one way or another, right?
Okay.
But otherwise, it's still a very nice stone. It's still a very pretty stone. And it's nice to know that it's topaz. Again, it's very bright. So that's for me, you know.
Okay,
if you're not the bright kind of person.
Last but not least, this is the, wow, I love this stone, okay? It's from Brazil. And it's Imperial Topaz. Okay.
Oh, thank you everyone for staying around. It's past 9 already.
This is the last one.
Yeah, this is the last one, and
I'm sure you all will love it.
Yes.
Okay.
Oof.
Look at that.
This is another really tasty color.
Yeah.
I see like candy, you know.
See, look at that.
Wow. Okay, this one again. Thumbs up and a heart if you like it.
The stones keep me engaged. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's very nice because you see my point of view, and you get our insight also.
Sensational.
Sensational.
Yeah. Hi, Gurmeet. Hi.
Thanks.
Okay, I will show you all the YouTube channel link in later.
Sensational. That's iPhone.
Sensational. Wow.
Awesome, right?
You see. On Facebook, we have reactions on Facebook.
Wow. This is the climax of the stones. So look at that.
Okay, but that's why we say we can't give you the best one first.
Once I show you this first, right, the rest of the stones
are not interesting anymore.
Gone, habis, you know.
Atika will have left the Zoom.
Yeah.
cannot keep engaged anymore.
Look at it, look at it.
Hi, Joe. Yeah.
Joe, hi, Joe.
This is
Wow.
our best stone so far, you know.
Yeah, from Brazil. It's supposedly not treated, you know, but you know.
Okay, one way to see if it is not treated or not treated is that the reason why we treat, say for example, let's say
Can zoom in more.
Let's say okay, blue topaz is not a very good example, but I give you an example of another stone. Okay, for example, a tanzanite. Okay, if you do not know tanzanite is like a purplish blue gem that is commonly used to be an alternative for sapphire. Okay, and tanzanite tends to be heated as well. So, but tanzanite has this optical nature, whereby it has got 3 colors, okay? And in different direction, you actually can see slightly of all the 3 colors, you know, in different directions, in different intensities. So what are the 3 colors? The 3 colors are actually purple, light blue, and also brown.
You know what, I actually have...
Sorry, purple, light blue, and brown. Sometimes the light blue is so light until it's colorless, okay? And the heat treatment, what the heat treatment does is that it actually removes the brown so that it looks more purplish, okay? Sometimes those tanzanite may be a bit greenish also, so the heat treatment actually removes the green so that it looks more blue. All right, so treatment happens in this way. But however, for topaz, mostly is irradiated to bring the color out. So definitely there will be some changes within the structure itself. Okay, so unless we go into structural analysis, right, with naked eye is really, really difficult to tell, right? But again, not nice to say this, not very professional to say, but experience. If I can see like 3 colors, like what we saw just now in some of these topazes, okay, there is a very high chance that it has not been treated. Okay, so this is one idea. I would say it's an idea. I mean, it's not like 100%, more subtle, it's an idea. Yeah. So, but do we be able to see that 3 color also? You need training for the eyes.
Like just now when I show you rotate, you slowly rotate the stone and take a look. Yeah. So anyway, that concludes our
Zoom box
experience.
Zoom box experience. Hope you liked it and hope you enjoy it. All right. Yes. Thank you. Andrew, do you have anything you want to add on from there? No. And to end it off, we really want to let you guys know this month is already, we are already like slightly past mid-May, really very fast. And our anniversary is actually 1st of June. And we mentioned earlier, we would be in our 6th year already, going to our, finish 6 years. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh yeah, we finished 6th year. We are going into our 7th year.
Wow.
Wow, I can't believe it, man. Okay, so many things has happened. Anyway, we're going to our 6th year, and we're very thankful that we are able to create this 3D virtual tour for the museum. So just a very quick one for everyone to have a quick look. Okay?
Thanks to the Museum Roundtable National Heritage Board. You know, last year when the circuit breaker happened and all this thing happened, they gave a digital production grant, and they gave us this opportunity to actually create this virtual museum. So everybody around the world and Singaporeans can also visit our museum at the comfort of their home. Okay, so yeah, thank you, Chimun. Thank you. Just stay around for a little while. I just want to show all of you what this is all about. Okay, this is our 3D. How do I make it bigger? Never mind. Just keep it. Oh, look at that. Okay, so now maybe I just switch off the music first. So if you like it, you want to have the music on, we will announce our launching very soon, and see our dear Andrew is here. Yeah, you can click on. And that's what you can do, you know, you can always, click on stuff and then subscribe. Just now Gurmi was asking. Thank you, Rickson from Facebook. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel from here. Okay, and then you can click and then go nearer to, okay, so you can see our background right here. This is where we are, the showcases, and right, we have like something like this. It's like a actual museum tour. It's just a virtual one. And those of you who are interested, we will also be conducting online virtual tours. So we will bring you around the museum with a curator, Andrew, and ourselves to guide you all through and learn more about gemstones.
Yeah, and we are also very excited to show you guys like our 3D products.
Don't know whether we'll show.
Oh, it's not showing.
Wait.
No, haven't yet. Let's wait for it to show up.
All right, great.
Okay, so you can see the 3D and then you can play around with that. Okay, this is the 3D one. So nice. This is my favorite Mercedes diamond slice.
Yeah.
Okay, so just to really whet your appetite.
Yeah, you can go and play around with it. You know, if
Yes.
you find any bugs or anything, please do let us know. Send a Facebook message to us.
You can see our,
and then we have,
this is our Andrew too,
Yeah.
Yeah, I can watch him.
Yeah.
All right. And this is the first floor. We are still in the midst of preparing for the second floor. Okay, the second floor has got quite interesting things as well. So that's for the virtual tour. Okay, going back to the museum. And of course, our Gem Museum shop is very easy. The gemmuseumshop.com. You can go in. It's actually, you can actually browse through. We're just still in the midst of putting in more photos, more pictures, and more products and all that. So this is actually this is pretty much our shop, online shop. Yeah, so you won't be bored for the next few weeks still, Yeah, and it's special for all of you guys. Take down the link. Maybe what I will do is
www.thegemmuseumshop.com.
Yeah, I'll stop share right now, and then I'll just give you the link for the virtual tour, and feel free to just go onto the link and let us know if you find any bugs or anything like spelling error or something, and yeah, let me just put it up for everyone here.
And also the Facebook.
In the Facebook, do you want to?
Never mind, later we put in the Facebook.
Facebook.
So thank you very much for joining us. If you like our sharing, please do subscribe to our channel, YouTube channel, or give us a like, give us a review, and just help us to share more with your friends and family. And stay safe, stay hopeful. We're going to go through this together in Singapore, and that's why we are coming up with so many exciting things.
Yeah. So we're very thankful for all of you for joining us and staying around with us for so long. Extra time. Yeah, Andrew, you have any last words to say?
No.
Okay. Thank you everyone on Facebook as well. Thank you for joining us, and I hope that I will let you know when is the launch and play around with our virtual museum. Okay. Thank you. Have a good night, good evening. Stay safe.